What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Real Junkies. I'm your host, Ron, here again, my man Vito. And today, reviewing a movie that I'm still kind of shocked actually got finished and made. Um, Rust, starring Alec Baldwin. For those of you who don't remember, this is that Alec Baldwin movie that started the whole controversy. Unfortunately, one of the cinematographers that was working on this film lost her life during production, RIP Helena Hutchins. And that was the driving story going into this movie. It was a giant elephant in the room surrounding this film. It's really hard to speak on this film and not acknowledge that. But for the purposes of this review, we want to just focus on since we do have this movie now, since it did get finished by some miracle, what does the final product look like? And um, going in, I really wanted to root for this film, just given everything that was happening outside of it leading in. When you have this much negative press surrounding a movie, especially when a tragedy happens, you want the finished product to be something of quality if it has to go through all of this. And how do I put this? This movie's boring. This movie is boring. It is very slow pacing. The
Mm-hmm.
acting is serviceable at best. It's not terrible, but it's not good. And there's really no point in this movie where, as an audience member, I felt hooked or engaged or like I was interested in seeing what else was going to happen. It just kind of felt like scene. All right, that scene's over. Next scene. All right, now that scene's over. Next scene. And it didn't really feel like I was getting deeper into a plot or a story. It just felt
Mm.
like shit happening. Um, and I trust me, y'all. I was really rooting for this movie. When I first saw the trailer drop, it was genuine shock because I couldn't believe this movie was actually getting completed and that we were actually going to get this released to audiences after everything that happened. But since we were, I was like, well, given everything that was surrounding this movie, someone lost their life. Alec Baldwin was almost criminally indicted.
Which is crazy
I
to
at least,
begin with.
which is crazy because it wasn't Alec Baldwin's
I
fault. Like
mean,
that to me, yes and no. I feel like I feel like whoever the prop person
no, no,
is.
so not only do they got a prop person, they got an armor who's supposed to be in charge of the firearms, the live ammunition.
Yes,
First of all, it should have been
yep.
on live ammunition on set anyway.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
that's
Like the
the
live ammunition should have never been in the gun in the
and
first
that's
place
the
for Alec
armorer's
Baldwin to
fault.
even do that.
But
You know what I'm
but
saying? So
also
like
like if you gonna get
that,
a
yeah,
this nigga's what 60 something, bro. You should
Alec
know that.
Baldwin is up there.
Check that fucking firearm, man.
Yeah, like I don't want to absolve Alec Baldwin of blame, but like that gun went through several hands
Yeah.
before it got to Alec Baldwin, and it had to be checked by other people before it got to Alec Baldwin. So that's where I'm like, the last person to touch once it gets in Alec Baldwin's hands, he
He
thinks,
should
all
be.
right,
It should be good to go.
I should be good. Action, cool. Let me shoot the
Yeah.
scene, right? Because the shooting happened, like the tragedy happened while they were rehearsing a scene. So if I'm Alec Baldwin and I'm getting this firearm from my prop person, I'm assuming you've done your job.
Now,
You know what I'm
I thought it
saying?
was. I didn't think it was a scene. I thought it was one of those. I can't think of what they call them. Like the little clips where it's solely for the trailer.
It could have been that they were rehearsing something. Like there was something something
Yeah.
was supposed to be getting shot, whether it was promotional material or actual scene. Like it was, something that was involved him being in front of the camera with that gun. So that's what I'm saying. Like at that point, he's supposed to be with this weapon in character. At that, I
Yeah.
can't put all the blame
No,
on him in that
I
sense.
100%
Like,
agree with you.
yeah,
Like I said, for the most part, I'm gonna blame the armor because one,
yeah,
I for no reason can I think that live ammunition should be on the set. But
yeah. The
also,
fact that it was even on set for it to be put into that
is it
firearm is
if
crazy.
it is on set, why is it not labeled? Why is the live
Yeah,
ammunition next
facts.
to the blank rounds or the dummy rounds or whatever they got, whatever
Oh,
they're
yeah,
using?
whatever they was using for the gun. Yeah,
Why is it there? And I did see when it came out, I remember seeing it. And then I'm gonna get off of this. I don't want to go into a tangent about this because let's talk about
yeah,
the movie.
no.
But and they said like sometimes they use the movie. I mean, they use real bullets when they're doing some of the scenes because they like the flash of the gunpowder. And, you know,
Yeah,
and again, even with the blanks, because again, that's how Brandon Lee died. You know, it was a
Yeah.
It was a blank that was something was wrong with it or something like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, like you said, multiple people have to check this gun, armor, the prop master, assistant. You know, multiple people check this gun before it got to him. But I mean, everybody's to blame. I think, but especially the armor. But like I said, it's one of those things that unfortunately that happened and it was an accident. But
Yeah, it's
I
and like
mean,
I said, it's one of those things like I don't like you said, I don't want to get too deep into it, but
yeah.
it's just one of those things like you can't really talk about this movie without addressing that because that is a
That
big
was
reason why people even know what this movie is. Because it's not like this was a movie that got a wide theatrical release. This is released on streaming services. I think it's
well,
on.
wait. First of all, it was supposed to be released in
It was
theaters
supposed.
because
You're right. It was supposed to get a theatrical release.
even when we were planning on watching this movie, I'm like, okay, no, it's gonna be playing this at this theater, this theater, this theater, and
Yeah.
literally, and I think we might have been a week late watching it, but we went to go watch the fucking movie and nobody was playing it anymore. It's only on Amazon.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah. It was
did want to
only on
say,
Prime and
this might be the first time that we did this. I agree with everything, almost everything you fucking said, everything
yeah. This
that
movie was not great.
you know, and Alec Baldwin's not a terrible actor. He's a pretty good
He's
actor.
not.
You know,
He wasn't terrible in this movie either.
it
He just
just
wasn't
I'm
interesting.
gonna say from dude, he was kind of a dick the whole time. Then they just there was so you want to start with the pacing. Usually, and it's crazy because the last two films we reviewed, I had the same thing. It was slow,
Hmm.
but it didn't feel like it because of what was
Hmm.
happening. Um, this was slow and it felt like it was slow.
Yes.
Even the action scenes felt slow. Everything was it was terrible. Like you said, it was just mush. They put this scene's here. All right, good. This scene's here. You know, and if you haven't seen a movie or you're not going to go watch the movie, or again, spoilers, we do spoilers in our reviews. The film is about a 13-year-old orphan boy who's raising his fucking 7, 8-year-old brother,
Hmm.
and he kills a guy, and he's sentenced to hang. Even even that, how that occurred was fucking stupid. You know, his brother's getting beat up in a store. He goes to help his brother out. He breaks a kid's hand who was jumping his brother. And his dad, again, because this is the old West days when fucking child labor laws were not a thing. And he's like, yo, I can't work. You know, somebody got to do this shit. You know,
Yeah, like you broke my son's
you
hand.
gonna
He's the
do
one
it. And
working
he's
on my
like, nah, you
field,
ain't gonna
so
fucking do
I
this.
need you to replace that labor. Yeah.
Anyway, the nigga randomly is hunting a wolf for some reason. Like he's chasing, like a full sprint chasing this wolf, pulls the rifle up, aims, and I'm wondering why this nigga not out of breath. He pulls the rifle, and as he pulls the trigger, I immediately knew what he had shot. He shot the nigga, and I'm like, one, you didn't see this nigga. Two, where did this nigga come from? Three, they try to play. They we don't you don't see the trial. You just see the guilty verdict and how
Yeah.
they gonna sentence them. And the judge pretty much say like because of their previous interactions, it was premeditated. I mean, one, I don't know how much of his property that fucking shit was because back in the day, nigga, you just showed up, you put a house there, that was yours. You know,
Yeah.
all this around
Yeah.
here is mine. So you know my shit. I'm hunting a wolf, and it was just the kid was so fucking just brave about everything. Then not like it. I don't. The characters usually, you know, when I say characters aren't fleshed out, it's because they feel empty somehow. You know, like this motherfucker was bipolar. Him and his grandfather, who Alec Baldwin is his grandfather, who he's never met, and even about how his parents died is like it's just thrown out there. You know,
Yeah, that there really isn't a lot put into that storyline at all, and it's actually very tragic.
yeah, it's
But
fucked up because shit like that
and would
probably
do a
used to.
lot to drive that character forward if you dived deeper into that, but they just never did.
And what? Because this is my thing. Because they sent his brother, little brother, to a group home, to a boys' home.
Yep.
Nobody was like, "Yo, this little nigga shouldn't be on his own, raising this kid." Let's say him. They both need to go to the boys' home. Like, at what age did they did it make a difference for this nigga to be at the boys' home? Because I don't remember how long ago he said his father died. What, a year, 2 years, or some shit like that?
It was enough time that like they shouldn't have been,
On their
you
own.
know, on their own. You know what I'm saying? Which they had been at this point. Like the film opens and they're established orphans.
Yeah.
Like the big brother kind of has a schedule on what to do. All right, you eat at this time, go to bed. Like he has a schedule together of how he's raising
He a
his
single
younger brother.
parent.
So he's been doing it long enough to where he consistently knows what to do, literally like a single parent.
He's a
So
single
it's been
man
enough
who
time to
works
where, to
too
your point,
hard and
bro.
love his kids and never stops.
Nah, that was, and it was just like, I ain't gonna lie. The way this film started, at when it first started, I was,
It started
I
better
was
than it
starting to
finished.
buy in. Yeah, like when it started, I was kind of starting to buy in. I was like, okay, cool, Western, two orphan boys
Hmm.
out here trying to figure it out, and then boom, a tragedy strikes. Okay, cool. Let's see where you go with
See what
this.
happens.
And then even when up until the point where Alec Baldwin, or in this film Harlan Rust is his character's name.
That name
Um,
was hard though. That's a hard ass name.
Harlan
I'm not
Russ
gonna lie.
does
His
sound
name was
like a Western
that
boogeyman
sound
for
like a nigga
sure.
you should be scared of, which people were.
Yeah, like, and they established that as soon as like the sheriff saw him and he was like, "Oh shit," and like you
Like he
said,
a
put the
bad
gun down.
man.
Sheriff was like, "All right, bet, say less." Like they established, like, "Oh no, he's him out here." Like that name carries weight. But really, up until that scene was where I was like kind of starting to buy in. Everything after that, I couldn't. I checked out.
Yeah.
I lost interest at that point. The film really didn't do anything to keep my attention or keep my interest. It literally just felt like I was just coasting through scenes. Like you said, everything felt slow. Whether it was things that shouldn't have felt boring felt
The
boring.
character.
Character building moments between Alec Baldwin and Lucas and Harlan Russ and Lucas
I
is
didn't even
the
know
young
the
boy.
fucking
Yeah.
character building moments happen. Nigga, I'm
That's what they
watching
were
it
attempting to
and then I'm
do, but
like,
it didn't.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
they're cool now. Everything's all
Yeah.
good. But like
Yeah.
you said, like not even just their character bonding. We get introduced. One, there's a U.S. Marshal that's or a deputy marshal. I don't know which one he is. That's hunting him.
Hmm.
There's a bounty. There's also a bounty hunter that's hunting
Bounty
him.
hunter. Yeah.
The
So they
U.S.
got a marshal hunting him, got a bounty hunter hunting
The
him.
U.S. Marshal has two friends that he rides with all the time, and he picks up two more people. And you get you know that he's been with these two guys the first two guys a lot, but then he goes rolls up on these other two dudes. These motherfuckers are fucking children. Like I don't what which I'm trying to think of which Transformers it was. I think it was Transformers 3. When you had the two like
Oh, it's
beetle
two. It
cars,
was
they were like
two.
they were
Two. It was
twin Transformers.
what the fuck was their name? Flap or something.
I,
Mud flap or something. It was like,
it was
and
something
they were
very
just like,
dumb.
they were very egregious black stereotype transformers. Yes.
Like but
Yes.
like these were like redneck stereotypes and just these motherfuckers just fighting like not
Yeah.
no reason, just yeah,
Yeah.
people tussle with their siblings and shit, even playing they tussle.
Yeah.
These
No, they was
motherfuckers,
rolling in the mud and shit.
the
Like it was.
slightest thing would set one of these niggas off in they wrestling.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
just an introduction to the characters, like you said. There's a marshal that works over him who he was in a. I'm like, okay, why is this nigga important? Why is this
Yeah.
nigga that giving orders? It's so much that happens in this movie that you don't care about. Before Rust
Yes.
even shows up, another family member shows up. His his mother's cousin or mother's aunt or some shit like that. What she says she is, but
Hmm.
I'm guessing she's somehow relate. She was related to Rust somehow, but
I think they established that's his sister.
that's his sister. That's what I thought.
It's Russ' sister. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, and it was just the way that they got there was just so fucking stupid. Because I thought she said, I'm your mother's in law." That's what I thought she told Lucas when she showed
Lucas
up.
at first.
But then
Yeah.
when the
I
marshal
don't
shows
remember
up,
exactly.
she's like, "Yeah, I'm his mother's aunt." It's again, it's so fucking confusing. And usually,
Hmm.
you get when you get a bunch of storylines, it's convoluted. This is the
Yeah.
first time there's a bunch of storylines and it's not convoluted. The shit just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. They don't go anywhere. The fucking bounty hunter is a preacher that drinks, fucks hookers, kills people, and again, he's killing. It doesn't matter who he
Oh, and
kills
also just casually very deeply racist. But this is 1880s Wyoming, so
because he
everyone
also
probably was.
he killed one of the fucking guys with the marshals. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, where because it was a lot of money, so you're like, okay, your morals are gone. I looked that up too because at one point in the film, Alec Baldwin called somebody a wetback. And and
I
I
do remember
said
that part. I was like,
I
whoa,
I
just out of
I
nowhere.
paused the fucking movie because I'm like, okay, I don't think they was using that term back then. They
Yeah.
and I looked it up. Wetback was used in like the 1920s by it was one of the Eisenhowers doing some type of
Oh,
campaign.
that was a good catch because I didn't even
I had to look.
it to me it worked because there was like very subtle hints of
Yeah, we know they was racist, so like it should
like
apply.
it's very subtle hints of like, look, y'all, this movie takes place in 1880s Wyoming.
Yeah,
Some of these characters probably didn't like certain groups of people. So to me, that would just fit within the tone of what they were setting up with these characters. I ain't even question it. But no, that's a good
yeah.
catch.
They say
That's a good catch.
it wasn't even white, and again, it was just an operation now. So it was a
Mhm.
military operation. So like they just name shit. They might be like,
Yeah.
oh, what do we want to call this? This operation. Oh, let's call that Operation Chocolate Thunder. Not it's a
Mhm.
racist term. Niggas calling niggas Chocolate Thunder and shit, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Whatever. Anyway, but then it wasn't widely used in America, even as a slur until the 1950s. So we're already talking about an incomplete story. The fucking, you know what? I I thought I had more to say about the movie, but
It's not much.
everything was bad. Like the
Like
acting wasn't
it's not much.
terrible, but it wasn't good, and the script was
Yeah.
not good enough to make the acting
Better.
better.
No, I agree 100%. To me, the only performance in this movie that felt somewhat engaging was the preacher, the bounty hunter. To
And
me,
that shit
and
was just
shout out,
odd. The whole
yeah,
thing.
that's just because he felt a lot more tapped in with his character than the other actors in this movie did. Shout out Travis Fimmel for those of you who watched the Dune
Nah,
Prophecy TV
they gonna
show.
have to. Ah, damn! I forgot about that. I still gotta
For
watch
those
that.
of you who watched Dune Prophecy, he was one of the main villains in that
I don't know.
show.
They might have to watch him, bro. That nigga was kind of sick
Hey,
when he showed up
he
to that
he
house and he flirted with old girl. I'm like, oh, he about to kill this bitch. And
no, I could see it. And then he was like, "Yeah, I used to what he say? I used to be on slave patrols and looked her dead in her face." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're diabolical, sir.
hey,
We need to get him up out of
he
here."
was a sick nigga and she was sick as fuck. Hey, so she live in a house with her son. Hey, she sent
He
this
did
nigga,
have a bar. He was like, "What makes a pretty girl like you sell her soul to the devil?" I was like, "Damn, that is a bar."
bro. He sent her out. She sent her son out to go play. Said, "Don't come back till I call you."
Okay. And
I
oh
said,
yeah, yeah,
"Oh,
yeah, yeah.
this
No,
random
he
nigga who been on the road. How many?" Hey,
she did say, what did she say, she was a widow,
she
or
was
he
lonely.
said like,
Yeah,
you're, yeah,
she had
you were a widow.
like 5 years or some shit like that.
And he was like, "When's the last time someone took you into town, bought you something?" She was like, It's been a long,
Mm.
long time."
I
I
was
could
like, oh,
already
he about
peep.
to
I was
take you
like,
into town, all right. I'm like, how you about to go? At
she
first, I was like, how you gonna go in town and you got a kid? Like, you don't take your kid in town? It wasn't no horse there. It wasn't
she
no.
said, hey, whatever the son's name was, she said, "Hey, go outside and play. Don't come back till I tell you to." I was like, "Oh yeah, they about to be on trash."
It's just like I said. Like every time something happened, it was stupid. Like when they went to the town, he said, "Stay right here." It just so happened they were hanging a nigga, you know.
Mhm.
And the kids seen it. Then it's random kids there playing. That's so much shit happening. This nigga picks up a dog and takes the dog. Like, nigga, you're on the run. Why are you buying a
Like,
dog?
on the run with a bounty on your head.
I was
Like,
in,
I just don't.
and at this point they already knew it was a 1,000 pound bounty on their
Yes.
head because Russ killed two other bounty hunters. So what the nigga?
Which is
Why?
also a boring scene. That like, you know what I'm saying? Like the scenes of this movie that were supposed to be exciting and were supposed to engage you as a viewer didn't. Like literally everything that engages a viewer, character development, like two, like, character development from a personal standpoint, but also characters building together and furthering their relationship. Every time Lucas and Russ had scenes where they were building together, it wasn't interesting. They didn't make that compelling at all. The action scenes, none of them drew my attention and like kept me interested. Even the final action scene, now not to skip around, but
No,
that's supposed
skip
to be
around
like
because
the
that shit was
climax.
like, nigga. The only
That's
part,
supposed to be like, and that there was nothing about that scene where I didn't feel any tension. I didn't feel like worried for the characters at all. With what happens at the end, there's supposed to be a lot more emotional weight with what's going
because
on,
a
and I
bunch
felt
of
none of
people
that.
die, and
I
I'm
felt none of
like,
that.
even when the first nigga died. So the first nigga, that was the only part that was interesting to me because he got shot with a double barrel, I assume, and the nigga body
Yeah.
just went flying back. And
Yeah, the effect of that was cool. But other than that, you weren't invested in
that
that
shit was
scene.
cool. But like you said, one of the guys that's always with Russ, he's the one. He's one of the first ones to die, and it's
Hmm.
like, okay, I don't care about this nigga. Even the
Yeah.
main marshal that's chasing him, who somehow survives all this shit and survives crazy ass gunfights. I'm like, if he would have died, I would have been okay with it. Like
Yeah.
none of this. One of the brothers died. I think both of them. Did both of them die or just one of the brothers die?
I know for sure one
One
of
of them
them
died for
did. I
sure.
can't remember if the other
But
one did.
even when that happened, I would. It wasn't no whole emotional thing. Like I'm like, all right, he did. His brother really didn't care that much. Why the
Yeah, I
fuck?
thought I said it wasn't really much of a reaction from bro either, to be
The
honest.
Marshall fucking son was sick throughout the movie. He's dead. He dies while he's hunting his bounty. There's no emotion from this nigga. One nigga and I think that's Gary. I think he's related to Gary Busey, the blonde haired one dude that he's with. I don't. His hair
Mm,
might not have been
okay.
blonde. But I think that's Gary Busey's brother. I'm
Okay.
pulling it up now.
Jake Busey.
Yep, that's his brother.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So, and that's somebody again. Me and Farhan talked about this a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I said this looks like a movie that was going to go straight to fucking DVD. This is going to go straight to Tubi, straight to
Yeah.
fucking Netflix, straight to
You was right.
Amazon, Hulu, and I ain't gonna lie, you kind of geeked me up. Like, you know what? Maybe you right, dog. Because Alec Baldwin used to be a big name.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that. He used to be a lister. So I'm thinking, fuck it. He do a lot of TV appearances. He do a lot of because I want to say he was in Mission Impossible at one point.
I believe you're correct.
He was
There's so many Mission
like
Impossibles at this
he was
point,
like a
but
director of it at one point, and he does a lot of guest work. You know,
yeah, no, you are right. He wasn't Mission
the
Impossible.
biggest thing I seen him in, or the longest thing I seen him in, was fucking 30 Rock, which again, Alec Baldwin. I forget his character's name is Jack something. The first person to say "Make America Great Again." So, so his, his so
That's some lore.
dog. So
That's some lore.
his parodying of Donald Trump, like he said it first, and you took it
Yeah.
from him, and you mocking him. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, that was a
Shout
quick.
out
That was
Alec.
probably the quickest tangent I went on. But
No, that the
this
very quick one. There aren't really a lot of tangents to go on with this
it's
movie
not.
because nothing happened.
It's a bad.
Nothing interesting happened.
It's a bad movie. It's like I said. I'm looking at cinematography and I'm like, okay, this actually looks nice. This looks nice. And then at one point,
The movie was shot very well. I will give it
well,
that. Like,
at
I
certain
don't think it was
points, it
shot
just
bad.
looks grainy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, what happened here? It is I don't know when they started filming again. I don't know how much of the film they had finished when that incident happened. But
Hmm.
like I said, some of it just looks. It doesn't look the same. It looked like they was
Yeah.
in. They shot this part in 4K, and then they shot these scenes in fucking 720p.
Yeah.
Like it. The and one more part that I'm done because honestly, it's nothing. I don't fucking care about the movie after watching the movie, and that just makes it so much worse because somebody died during this filming. Um,
Yeah.
the part with the Native Americans when they come about. And I forgot he named multiple tribes and said this one might be them. And the kid goes, "How do we know if they're friend or foe?" He says, "What? I forget what he says. He says some shit like you won't know until you know." essentially.
Yeah.
And excuse me, Alec gets shot, or Russ gets shot at some point.
Yeah, they encountered I think some bounty hunters like the
Yeah,
scene before and
random
Russ gets
again,
injured. Yeah.
randomly. Lucas,
Yeah.
Lucas is patching him up. He's like, I'm gonna rest for a minute. And Lucas just goes out. He hears them. Like they making a lot. They doing their call. I'm not gonna do that shit because it sound racist if I do that shit. And and he out here with this rifle, with Russ rifle, which is his like supposed to be this beautiful golden rifle or some shit. And he like he pointed at them. They circling him. They throw a fucking spear down at this nigga feet. He like, I'll trade you on his knees and shit. I'm like, one, this nigga ain't seen no Native Americans or what they was calling them Indians at the time. You ain't seen no Indians. And you just like, yeah, let me kneel before you give me you this rifle and this shit gonna work.
It was a bold strat, especially because like at that point, all he's been told is like they could be hostile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if he, like you said, he's had no interaction, he's no wiser. So it definitely took some courage for him to approach them the way he did because he was just like, yeah, we trade this for the horse. I was like, okay, so
And they was fucking
if they
with him.
are hostile, what's stopping them from taking the rifle and then blowing your head off?
And they was fucking with him because they did not they spoke whatever language they spoke. And then as they're leaving, they go,
Leaving, going to turn around and speak
you
English.
go crazy white boy. I'm like, okay, bro. That don't even
I was
sound.
like, all right, good troll work.
I don't even think like again. Like I don't even think at the time they was calling like that shit. Like nobody was saying like, oh, that's crazy ass white boy. They wasn't saying that at the
Yeah,
time. I'm sure they were saying something
yeah,
different but similar. And that
yeah.
just goes to to this movie. It's like who the fuck was responsible for the script, the
Yeah, the writing
dialogue,
in this
like
was not great.
what
Not
type
great.
of research did they do for this shit?
Yeah.
Because even Russ's backstory, like I said, as soon as people find out it's him that did it, they lay his backstory on. They like, oh yeah, he robbed these banks, he killed these people, he robbed these
Yep.
banks. This
Yep.
nigga went into the fucking sheriff's office and killed like 5, 6 people by
Yeah.
himself and walked out with the boy on his back. And even his backstory, again, that's his lore, I guess. His backstory about why he wasn't in his daughter's life also didn't make no fucking sense. That nigga, he said some shit
Yeah,
like,
bro.
"Oh, we
Like,
ain't
come
really
on,
had no
bro.
money, so I took off." Like, my nigga, what?
Like what, bro? It
He
was
was waiting
it
on
was
it to
just
be
like
a.
lackluster explanations for everything, and everything was glossed over. It was like
It was
this film's
terrible.
version of character development was 1 to 2 lines of dialogue telling you what this character went through, and then we're moving on to the next scene. That was this movie's version of like developing their characters, and like they did it with everybody.
Everybody,
The
every
only
single
time you
person.
really saw a character in terms of what they were dealing with emotionally was the sheriff with his dying son, and that was a plot point for like the first act of the movie, and then you just never saw it again until the end when he comes home and is like, oh, my wife and dying son left me. Like
We don't even know. They don't even say the son's name. And even when that starts, the fucking wife is like, "You hate him because he's sick." And from our point of view, the nigga's getting dressed to go to work.
yeah,
And the first thing you say to this nigga when he comes in to see his son is, "You hate him because you sick." I'm like, where the fuck do
like
we
where did that
like,
come from?
like, bitch? What is wrong with you? You know, we don't know what's wrong with the nigga. He just sick. He
Yeah,
got that
they never
shit.
say what his illness is. Not once, not
He
one
got that
time
shit.
do they ever say he got that shit.
And
He got
again,
that shit.
he even when he decides that he's sent, he's more he's not really he doesn't really just go off to get Russ. He's sent for him
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he's a good marshal, they say. And the nigga don't go back home and like, yeah, baby, I'm gonna be gone a few weeks, a month maybe, probably a month, 2 months, because that's how the shit
yeah,
used to work back then.
yeah.
Nigga just leaves. And it's like, all right, maybe he do
Yes.
hate the
Okay,
nigga.
good.
I don't know.
Like at that point,
Maybe he
maybe she
hate
had a point.
maybe he hates you because you birthed a sickly son. And I'm not saying that's her fault. I'm just saying that's how niggas used to think back then. Am I wrong? Bitch, you ain't gave me no son yet? Well, I got 3 daughters.
Oh, you did give me one. This motherfucker dying.
Like, come on, bro. Niggas was sick back then. I mean, niggas is sick now, but they was sicker.
No, this little boy was
But
going
like,
through it in this movie.
he's
I ain't gonna
supposed to
lie.
be, he's supposed to be in this movie. He's supposed to be an honorable man. That like we're supposed to see him as an honorable man,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we don't really see him do at the time. I guess he's like at the beginning when we introduced to him, he goes to get some fucking guys that are in town, which is crazy
Hmm.
because they was already waiting for these niggas. Like it's a nigga posted up on the balcony they don't see. And I'm like,
You
okay,
feel me?
so you was just drunk in the middle of the street. These niggas, why the fuck you up before them? Why they up before y'all? Y'all niggas got to go get them. Y'all know they in time. Well,
You feel me?
we gonna do this without shooting them. We gonna bring them in alive. Again, that doesn't work out. But again, you see, okay, he went into
Like
that
they
with
all strapped. You thought they was just going hands up and
yeah.
just go with you
Like
willingly?
I get it, you went
Like,
in
come on
with
now.
pure intentions, but that's not how it happened. So again, the only thing, even letting the kid go, is like, like yeah, it's fucked up that they hanging him. But at the time, these the laws. You're supposed to be a lawman. You're supposed to follow. Let the nigga go. I don't give a fuck. But
Yeah.
you don't see him do anything honorable in this movie. And again, the whole relationship thing with his son and wife, you like, damn, maybe it ain't no honorable man in this fucking movie. The only honorable man they had in the movie who was interested in me was the store owner.
The store owner is crazy.
That's
But
the
to your point though, you
only
kind of
nigga that
right.
was
Like,
interesting. He knew old boy was getting shaken down by all the other guys in the town that was buying shit from him because he was still
mhm.
raising. He was raising pigs. He had some horses. At the beginning of the movie, bro, like, yo, you gave me this much for this last month. He said, it ain't this month.
You feel
Went
me?
to the store. Store owner gave him a fair price for everything. He made sure that the nigga that Lucas killed wasn't about to lay a hand on him or no other kid in his store, which he said. When Russ came to take him, or even before that, he came and the little brother, which I don't remember his fucking name, the little brother would go to sleep in jail cell with Lucas. He would carry the nigga out like, yo, I wish I could take care of him. I just can't. How this was going on. And then
Yeah.
when he's taking Lucas, he come out with the blicky, and he tell the nigga like, hey, let that boy go. Cause
And then
it,
he realized who it is, and he like, oh shit,
and I don't know if they know they related, but he knows who Harlan Rust
who
is.
Harlan
And he
Rust
like,
is.
hey,
Everyone at this point knows who Harlan Rust is.
which again is another thing that's like, this nigga wasn't operating in Wyoming. So why the fuck does everybody in Wyoming know who he is? Not
Like,
not just
know
the
all the lore.
yeah, not just the fucking the outlaws and the sheriffs, nigga. Random ass store man know who he is.
Random,
Like
random. Like,
it,
oh, that's Harlan Rust.
and again, we don't have no backstory about that. He might have been a friend of the nigga daddy, but again, that's like the last time you see the nigga is when he
Yeah,
tell them what's going on, and he like, all right, well, shit, he could have been interesting. Maybe he gonna take the boy. We don't fucking know.
yeah. It was. This film just felt very disjointed. Like, I don't really know how to put it. I don't want to just keep saying boring or uninteresting,
Let's
but
just say
it
it
just really,
is.
it really felt like this movie, even the tragedy that happened on set aside, just watching this, and I was like, I don't really know if that hadn't happened, if this movie would have turned out any better, because
It might have
the
been
story
worse.
that yeah, the story they were trying to tell just didn't feel like it was leading anywhere. Like, I don't think they even really knew where the story was going. Honestly, it was just kind of like, all right. It felt like they were writing what they thought was a cool script up until the point where Harlan Russ breaks Lucas out of prison, and then after that, they were like sitting around the table, like, okay, well, shit. So, like, what the
Mhm.
fuck do we do for like the next hour and 40 minutes of this movie? Fuck it, just have them venture around Wyoming, run into different bounty hunters, and then just have them, do some little bonding moments around a campfire here and there, and then just call that the rest of our movie.
You want to know? I again. So you wanted to like this movie.
I wanted to, but I
I
just couldn't.
I initially thought it was gonna be ass. That's what I said. I said
Yeah,
this is gonna be ass. But when you convinced
yeah.
me, said, you know what, we got to do this shit. I said, all right, bro, I'm gonna give it a chance because again, I grew up on
I
westerns.
want to apologize. I was wrong. This movie is ass.
So
I want to say That's my fault, gang. That's
So
my fault, gang. I can admit when I'm wrong. That's my fault.
so
That's my fault.
I grew up on westerns, bro. My dad used to always watch westerns, which is crazy because he was too. I think he was too young for westerns, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
Growing up
Yeah.
watching Gunsmoke, The Rifleman,
Okay.
all those shits, man. And I love westerns even now, but you don't get them as much as we used to because again, it's you gotta. So much time has passed, and there's so many other periods to cover.
Yeah.
And most of the westerns we get now are like they're not trying to be accurate.
Yeah.
The
No,
last one I'm
definitely
thinking
not.
about is what you had the Hateful Eight. No, that was not the one I'm thinking about. That was Quentin Tarantino.
That was
What was the
Quentin.
one
Yeah.
with Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt,
You're thinking of Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven? But it was
Solid film, actually. I did enjoy that.
again great film, but like they not trying to be accurate in this motherfucker. And they did not give a fuck. They was doing cool
No,
shit.
this is turn your brain
Yeah, it
off
was an
and
action
watch
flick.
a bunch of niggas be cool action type of movie.
And that's the type of westerns that we've been getting. So, like I said, when I sat back and thought about it, I'm like, yeah, all right, I give a shit a chance. Again, the last time we probably got one of these was, and I might just be wrong, but 310 to Yuma. That shit was amazing.
Ooh. Yeah, the
310 to
310 to
Yuma.
Yuma, what was that? 09? What? 09,
I want to
010
say
when that movie
08
came out?
probably. I
08?
think I was in high school when I
Definitely.
watched it. I think.
2007, actually.
Okay,
I knew
yeah,
it
I
was
was in high
late
school.
2000s, maybe venturing to 2010, but yeah, 2007, 310 to Yuma. If y'all, first of all, sidetrack, if y'all want to see a great Western film,
Fucking amazing.
great Western,
What is it
go
playing
watch
on?
310 to Yuma. Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, Ben Foster, Logan Lerman, who y'all might know from the Percy Jackson films, and it's directed by James Mangold, who also directed some of the Planet of the Apes movies, and he directed Logan as well. Just wonderful, wonderful movie. Yeah.
It's on
If
Hulu
y'all
and Amazon.
yeah, if y'all
But
have a chance and y'all want to watch a Western, don't watch this movie. Go watch 310 to Yuma.
I'm not gonna tell y'all not to watch it because again, everybody's taste is different. Y'all,
You're
you
right.
might enjoy this shit. I don't know.
You might
I don't
enjoy
think
this
you
boring
will.
ass film. You
And
might.
like I said, so many things. I went into this with an open mind, and I really wanted to like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once we did decide we gonna watch this shit and we gonna review it, I really wanted to watch it because again, I love westerns. Looking at the reviews, a lot of the reviews were about the incident that happened, and then it's a bunch of motherfuckers that are super Republicans because they keep talking about how Alec Baldwin was a communist and terrorist and all that sort of shit, and we already know what that is. So
Yeah,
so sometimes
to your point though, I did see a lot of that. Like people who in their reviews are bringing up the incident and not really just
the
speaking
movie,
on the movie. It's like I get it. The incident is a big part of the story surrounding this film, so it's hard to talk about this movie without bringing that up. But don't let that impact your viewpoint on the film itself. This movie not being great has nothing to do to me with
at
that
all,
incident. Those are
at all.
separate things.
It was gonna be
You know what I'm
ass
saying?
either way. Like think
Yeah,
about
this I don't think this movie stood a chance, to be honest with
so
you.
like, and I'm just saying that to say, sometimes reviews can't be trusted. And just think
Yeah.
about it this way, during was Batman or the Dark Knight, like Heath Ledger passes like immediately after
Hmm.
they finish filming. When they're post production, he passes. Um, Fucking wins an Oscar. Again,
Yeah.
he played a fucking killer role. Like again, he to me he makes that movie. He pulls that movie together. He makes it what it is.
Hmm.
And you don't have to talk. You don't even. And again, they say the best way to get an Oscar is to die, which that happens. But even if he did not
I'm sick of
die,
some truth to that statement. Even if he didn't, though, he
he
deserved
would
that
have. He
Oscar.
probably would have gotten a fucking Oscar for it, or he would have been a
Yeah.
fucking top contender. But this shit, nigga, you could have killed half the cast and nobody would have got a fucking Oscar.
Hey, bro. This nigga is sick, y'all.
Hey, I mean,
This is a shit nigga. Well, this is a sick
hey,
nigga.
listen, I ain't gonna even hold you up. It was a joke I was gonna say, but I'm like, nah, I say that. I ain't gonna, But not like seriously, like the movie's just like you said. You don't want to say
This
it.
movie didn't stand
I'll
a
say
chance,
it.
though.
The movie's not good. It's boring. It's not
Yeah,
interesting at all. Like you said,
yeah,
even when you're like, okay, this may be an interesting character.
yeah.
The fucking the aunt, she she was an interesting character at the. But then she
For
like,
the two scenes she was in there, she was interesting,
yeah,
but they just didn't use her outside of
I'm
that.
hoping to see some type of connection between her and Russ. Like she sent him a letter, she sent him to go get set this
They
up,
never.
which
I didn't even think about that. They didn't interact in this movie one time.
and we know that's how it
They not even
happens.
like I said, not a letter, nothing. That's crazy.
Like I said, we know that's how it happens because they're related.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
okay, we just supposed to guess because they do a lot of like she do a lot of wordplay to get around the fact that she knows him. Like I think
yeah.
she also says that she doesn't know him to the to the marshal.
To when the marshal was interviewing her
Yeah,
and
I
asking her,
think
so
he
like, how do you know
says
Harlan Russ? Y'all related, ain't you? And she's like doing her best politician answer and giving him the
yeah.
runaround.
So it's like okay, well, like you said, if you got a little ounce of intelligence, you can figure out like okay, she was the setup. You know, she
Yeah,
was gonna figure out if they can get him out some other way. But then she's like,
yeah,
she goes to the nigga like, "Oh, I can't take your brother though. That nigga on his own." I'm like,
yeah. No,
"Bitch,
he's cooked.
so what were you gonna do if they let him out? Like, what did you think? You thought they was gonna
Yeah,
let the nigga out and let go? Hey, go back to your land? No, that land is more than likely about to go to the family that lost the dad, lost the husband,
hmm,
so they can sell
hmm.
off, get some money." Nigga, what did you expect they were going to do with him? Even if they was like, you know what? Because first of all, everybody voted this nigga guilty, and said it,
Yeah. Like
and judge
the
said,
town was pretty content letting him like get
which
hung.
is
Like they were
crazy
pretty
because
chill.
the nigga seemed like the nigga that died seemed like an asshole.
Yeah, like it really seemed like one of them. Like the dude that got killed was like kind of the town menace
Yeah,
because you notice in that scene where he gets into it with where Lucas gets into it with his sons, the dude smacks the fuck out of one of his
smack the
own
fuck
sons,
out of his son,
smack the dog
and
shit out of
that's
his
why the
son.
store owner he hemmed that nigga up like, hey, bro, you ain't gonna
Like, hey,
touch
you ain't gonna
no
put your
kid in
hands
this
on no
motherfucker.
kids. He smacked the shit out of his own kids. So it's like clearly this dude is like the dude in town who's probably going around pissing people off, rubbing people the wrong way, right? So when he gets killed, granted, murder is murder, but it's like,
But
bro,
was it?
this kid is clearly this kid didn't intentionally try to kill him. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know
And
though.
this kid,
I'm
well,
playing both sides of the fence because first I'm like, you like it murder. I'm like, what's he done? Then you like, he didn't intentionally kill. I'm like, we don't know that
eh,
though.
we don't only just because of the angle. It's like we just saw him shoot,
Which
and
was terrible. That whole
it
thing.
made it seem like he was aiming at the wolf,
It
but it's
did.
like at the same time, it's like if you're shooting at a wolf and it's another
It's
like
a fucking man
grown man on a
on a
horse,
horse.
and they were like the wolf is like kind of in front of where the man is. I'm kind of with you on like how did he get hit? You know what I'm
How
saying?
he
But
ain't been see that nigga? Like, so this my
yeah,
thing. Like, I'm at my house. Let's say because I want to paint the picture for y'all. Let's say I got fucking I don't know how much 10,000 acres is. Let's say I got 10,000 acres, all right, and I'm at my house in a fucking deadpan center, and I see or
hmm,
let's say the back of the 10,000, and I see a fucking wolf. I take my gun to kill the wolf because it's going to kill my livestock, and I'm chasing it, and I'm chasing it, and I'm chasing it, and I'm chasing it. I chase this motherfucker so far I can't see my house anymore, and I shoot. The bullet catches somebody that's on my property, mind you. I think I don't know the landscape there, but let's
yeah,
just
the
say on my
landscape. It
property,
was yeah,
and that person dies. Nigga, how the fuck is that premeditated? How was I gonna know this nigga was coming to my property early as fuck in the morning?
yeah,
Why the fuck wouldn't I just wait till he come to my house and shoot him? Like, just like you said, like the script itself is bad. It was a terrible reason to say he murdered somebody. If he would have
yeah.
fucking when he hit that little nigga in the head and cracked this shit, if that little nigga would have died then I'd be like, okay, all right,
Cool. Yeah.
okay, that's the
This one just
story.
felt like circumstance, you know what I'm saying, and wrong place, wrong time versus this kid went out with the idea of killing this grown
Yeah,
ass man. You know what I'm saying? And but we dealing with different time period, different thought process, different ways of convicting people also. So, they probably just looked at the surface level details of, well, you got into it with this dude's kid. This dude's kid came to your crib and threatened you, and the next day, dude ends up dead by your hand. They're just looking at those facts just straight up and not looking deeper into some of the more complex ideas of like, well, okay, this first of all, this dude was on this kid's property and the kid was chasing another animal like you said, a few miles of probably like a couple, maybe a mile or so away from where his house is. Like he was running for a while.
And let's
You
be
know what I'm
honest,
saying?
even if he wasn't on his property, he was coming onto his property
Hmm.
to do something to him against his will. And you know
Yes.
what? I don't even care about that no more because I'm thinking about this because you said 1880s. I'm like, all right, cool, 1880s.
Yeah.
And this is the last thing I'm gonna bring up. And before I bring this up, I'm gonna tell you my score. I'm gonna give it a 3, and I'm not changing. I already gave all my reasons why.
I'm not mad at that.
One question that I have now, and again, maybe I missed it because the shit was born, and I fucking, like I said, I looked up at a point in the movie, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what's happening. I had to rewind the shit. I wasn't on my phone, I wasn't doing shit. I had to
Bro, I did the
rewind it.
same shit. I did the same
But
shit. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Hold on, rewind.
he
I'm
talked
like, this shit is just not. I'm not locked in right now.
at all. He kept talking about the war. So again, the only war that we had
Yeah.
probably it was a civil war at the time. At this time, 1880s. They just finished that shit up almost 15, 17 years later. The nigga never mentions really what side he was on. Nobody, like, everybody is talking about this. Like, everybody
Hey,
brings it
bro.
up. Everybody brings this
Yeah.
shit up, but nobody say like this the side I was on. Or
Yeah.
when did fucking Wyoming become a province or territory of the U.S.? Because
Nah, that's a fair point. That was never addressed. I wasn't even really thinking like that at first, but now that you say that, what side were they
you
on?
know
It's the questions that need answered.
it was admitted into
Um,
the Union in 1890, so they weren't even a part of the Union when the
wow.
war happened. So, oh, he said he was from Chicago.
He did. He did say originally he was in Chicago. Didn't like reside in Wyoming, or he wasn't from Wyoming.
Which again,
He did
how,
say that.
why the fuck? I mean, it's just the question. The story as it progresses gives you more questions. The entire time gives you more questions, and it's not like
Hmm.
it's not the good type of questions where you're like, oh shit, are we gonna see this again? No, this is just they niggas ain't think about it.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a 3, dog. Again, it's fucking boring. I mean, that's the gist of it. It's boring. The acting is fucking mediocre. Even Alec Baldwin, his shit was just. I don't know if the nigga was trying too hard, wasn't trying enough. It was just nigga was just odd. It was awkward.
Yeah. I'm not going that much further above you. I'm giving this one a 4. Only the only thing that was stopping me from giving it a 3 is because I took a look at the other films that I have rated as 3s, and they are actual abominations. This isn't an abomination,
Oh shit!
so I'm a give it a 4 just off that. And Preacher was at least an interesting enough character where it was like, okay, at least something in this movie caught my attention and got me engaged.
All right, but before you try
So
to end this,
I'm
because
I'm I'm
you
I'm
brought
a,
it
I'm gonna
up,
give it a 4.
you brought it up. So before we end this,
Okay, it's been
what
brought
other
up.
movies did you watch that got a 3? Give me at least 3 movies, dog.
Oh yeah, no, I
Oh,
can
you
I
got them
can
up.
I can give you.
You ready?
Yeah, no, I got my IMDb account up right now. I can give you the other films that I have that are 3s. Warriors of Virtue,
Never heard of
a
that.
movie about another dimension where kangaroos know kung fu. Yes, you heard me correctly.
Wait, no. Why the
Um,
fuck were you even watching that?
Nigga, this is a movie I watched as a kid that I liked as a kid that I tried to watch as an adult, and I realized, oh
I
no,
was
this
just
shit's
young.
terrible. Yeah, I was just young. This
Okay.
shit is terrible. Matrix Resurrection.
Is that the
Uh,
the new
that's
one?
the fourth
I
one.
still ain't
Yeah,
watched
the
it.
fourth one. Abomination.
It
Tyler
was
Perry's
that
Divorce in the
bad.
Black. Nah, that movie's terrible.
First of all, that's on
Um,
that one's on you. Divorce. That one's in. Nigga, listen. I'm
Vito,
I'm not.
before you keep going, think about the circumstances under which I will be watching that movie.
I don't give a
It
fuck,
wasn't just
bro.
me.
I
It
I
wasn't just
I,
me.
I would have been watching that bitch like this.
That wasn't my selection. That movie was not my selection.
All right,
Let's just
man. All
keep it
right,
there.
dog. I,
I wouldn't have want to put that
I
on.
can't listen. I can't always say
But I
that.
watched it, so I rated
I
it.
can't always say that because nigga, when I'm in the crib and shit, I'm like, damn, this is on my queue list. I don't feel like watching this right now. I might scroll past. First of all, I like rom coms. All right, so I
Yeah.
might scroll past a little lovey dovey shit. I'm like, damn, this might can let me turn this shit on. So I can't always say that's the reason why. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying. But because nigga Tyler Perry should be out of everybody's Rolodex at this point because uh,
you would think,
you
but
would think.
not everybody.
Listen, listen.
I know somebody.
I know a few somebodies.
I know some
You know,
folks.
I want the nigga to keep making money, but I also want the nigga to make better movies.
I agree. I'm very conflicted. Not to get on a Tyler Perry tangent because I'm gonna go through the rest of these abominations. But quick, just like I'm happy that Tyler Perry has something in Hollywood that's very rare, and that's a black-owned film studio.
Mm-hmm.
So off that, I never want to like talk down on Tyler Perry too much because I respect that. But to your point, I would like for that black-owned film studio to be making better movies than what it's making
Hire fucking
because it's just
writers,
not
my
it.
nigga. Like, come on, dog.
Please. But to get to the rest, Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, Abomination. Yes, that movie's
Hold
terrible.
on. You
That
know,
movie is
I don't
terrible.
even care what you're talking about, bro. No more. Let's wrap this shit up, dog. This nigga
And
said
I'm someone who, like, I grew up on the prequels.
I
That movie
I
is
ain't gonna
not
hold you up.
good.
I hated Clone Wars. That shit came out.
Nigga,
I
Attack of the
hated it.
Clones is one of, bro, half of that movie is Anakin whining about how much he loves Padme.
First of all, we I ain't gonna even get into this whole because I fucking hate the
And
Sky.
I do mean whining.
I
Like, he's,
hate
like,
the
legit
Skywalker
bitching.
family. I hate them. And Anakin is the biggest bitch of all time. Whiny as fuck. He doesn't become cool until he's fucking Darth Vader. And like you said, so again, I hated Attack of the Clones. Fucking, but now I've seen it was so long ago I've seen it. Clone Wars has made me like I forgot how bad Attack of the Clones was
Yeah.
because of
Clone Wars saved a lot of the prequel era lore from
so,
Star Wars, for sure.
and it's the reason we got a
Um,
lot of lore now.
Yeah, and I personally like Revenge of the Sith, but like Revenge of the Sith is an okay movie, and the fact that that's like by far and away the best of the prequels, and it's just like says a lot about the quality of the prequels. So I'm
Yeah,
standing on that. Attack of the Clones deserves this 3 out of 10, and you're not about to convince me
I'm
otherwise.
not. I
it deserves
like
it deserves every bit of this 3.10. I'm
again.
sorry, 3 out of 10.
Just the nostalgia for me. Like I said, when
I feel
I seen
you.
that shit when it came out in theaters, bro. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think I actually fell asleep because it was so fucking.
Movie's not good. Like it's I was like, you know what? Take the Star Wars title off of this. If I watched this exact same movie and it wasn't called Star Wars, how would I feel about it? I was
It
like,
would
yeah,
still
this
be
shit's
bad.
terrible. This shit's
It was
terrible.
too long.
Yeah.
One, it was too long with nothing happening. Like when we talk
It
about,
could have been an hour and 15 minutes with the same script and it still would have been just as ass.
I don't know. It might have been better. Like I said, I think. You know what? I ain't
We
gonna even
wouldn't have had
get.
to suffer as long, so you're
I ain't
right.
gonna even get into it because that we can go all day about that shit. Never mind.
Right,
So
right. So
give me two more movies that you got for three.
two more RIPD.
The
Um
original,
no, the Men in Black ripoff.
I know it was two of them. I
Yeah.
actually don't remember the first one, so I can't say that. Jeff
The only
Bridges,
one I'm talking about the one that was released with Jeff Bridges and I think it was Ryan Reynolds, was it in 2013?
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I liked that, but I don't remember. So
And
it
then
could have been
two
that good.
more just for shits and giggles. The Loft, for those of you who remember that
Is that the
movie,
one
that
where
shit
the
was
two
terrible.
dudes got an apartment together, then somebody dies?
And yeah, they came back and discovered a dead body and they had to figure out which one of them did it.
That's having like affairs in
Um,
there, right?
yeah, it was like where they like came and brought all their mistresses
That
because they
shit
was
didn't
like
even
cheating
look
on their
good to me, bro.
girls.
I can't.
Yeah, that shit was terrible. And X-Men Dark Phoenix, good 3 out of 10. Yeah. So there's a few more on here that I could name. There's more on this list, but those are just like the highlights of the bullshit.
Give me a
So
rough
that's why I
number.
was like,
20,
what,
30,
huh?
40.
In the 3 out of 10 list, shit, probably like 25, 30
Do
movies
you
in
got
there.
any in a 2 and 1 list?
Oh yes, I do. Let
Jesus.
me see. I'm gonna do a real quick one movie off the top of my head. I can tell you was in my 1 out of 10 list is Last Airbender. I can tell you that for sure.
Nope,
That's on the 1 out of 10.
valid. Very
And
valid.
Tommy Wiseau's The Room is in the 1 out of 10. I can tell you for sure those two movies are in the 1 out of 10 category.
Um. See, but I'm thinking about the movie that
Not
was
Brie
made.
Larson's
Yeah.
Room. Not that. That movie's amazing.
No. I'm
No.
talking about the movie. I know because they made what's his name? Franco.
Oh, the movie about them
About
making
them
the
making a
room.
movie,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be
Yeah,
really
no.
good.
That was actually really good. I did enjoy that movie. And I thought they did a very good job of like bringing that to life. But yeah, Batman and Robin, Last Airbender.
Wait. With Batman and
Drac-
Robin with George Clooney?
Yes,
That was my
I give that a
shit. First
watch.
of all, last time I seen it was I was a kid. I'm not rewatching it because it was terrible then. But
It's just it's bad as an adult. Let me tell you, Dragon Ball Evolution, The Room, and
mm.
Birth of a Nation, just off the strength that the KKK are the good guys.
Did you watch that?
Um, I took a film class when
And
I was
they
at
like,
CMU,
what type
and
of racist
yeah,
ass shit is that? I mean, I get the history behind it, but we don't need to watch this shit to.
that was their reasoning for showing it. I'm like, bro, they said I'll never forget this. I walked into class and they was like telling us like the slate of movies that we were gonna be watching in class. Soon as they said the original 1915 Birth of a Nation, me and the black girl that sat like in the front row ahead of me, we just immediately made eye contact. Like, what the fuck? What did we just get ourselves into? Um, and then I'll give you like three movies from my 2 out of 10 list. You got Amadeus Christmas,
Valid.
the Bye Bye Man, Slender
Never
Man,
heard of that.
and what else? It's Catwoman.
Okay,
Those are my.
I'm going to give you. I haven't rated that many movies. I think when I started actually writing my shit down in there,
Mhm.
one is going to be The Condor.
I
Um,
haven't even seen that.
this was like some collaboration between DC and Marvel where they put a character together. It
Okay.
was on Hulu, I think. It was terrible. Spell with
I haven't
Omari
seen that either.
Hardwick, Loretta Devine. He's in a plane
Hmm.
crash, and it again,
Child Red Divine.
it's I think it's a horror movie. It is, and so you know,
Okay.
we know I don't watch horror movies, so it's a reason I was
Yeah,
watching
horror
that.
movies is your bag.
And
Yeah.
then Batman Ninja, I gave a 3 star, but the animated
I
movie.
don't even know what that
It's
is.
an
Okay.
animated film. But the my other 1 star was Lucy with Scarlett Johansson.
Really?
That shit was terrible. I hated it. Hated
I agree that movie's not great, but I don't think it's a 1 out of 10. But I agree Lucy's not a good movie. I do agree.
I
I
hated
do
that.
agree.
I was so I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Let me see when I watched this because I didn't watch it when it came out. You know, I was,
Okay.
and I could never find somewhere to watch it. So when I finally watched it, I was so fucking excited. I'm like, this shit look fire. The
Yeah.
the shit looks fire, and then you watch it and you're like, oh,
I'm like, what the fuck is this?
like even the whole concept of it, like just some y'all niggas made some random, which crazy. This
That's
is
literally all that movie was. It was a good concept. And then when they went to go execute it, they were like, "Oh shit,
so. This is
we
my
got to
thing.
actually like put a plot around
But it was
this."
to make it for like a drug to get high on. If they would have made if
Mhm.
it would have been like the limitless pill, we making this we giving
Limitless was a better version of
we
Lucy
make
for sure.
we making these pills to make people smarter to shit some
Yeah,
shit like that. I would have been like, oh,
yeah.
okay, this makes sense. But you like there's no combination of drugs the nigga could put together on this planet right now, and niggas gonna become superheroes.
You feel me? Like Limitless took that concept and made it grounded. Of like, all right, let's just give a human the ability to use 100% of their brain. Lucy took that shit to like just weird extra dimensional levels of like, all right, there's no way scientifically possible if humans at their peak potential using all their brain capacity, everything, are going to be able to do the shit she's doing in this movie. I'm
Literally,
sorry.
fucking
I'm sorry.
and then just you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not because I forgot we were doing a movie review.
I did too because the movie we're reviewing is ass.
But
It's because the movie we're reviewing is
we
ass.
could
That's
probably
why.
do a whole fucking few episodes on like top bottom shit. But you know what? I'm sorry. Let's wrap this shit up, man.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
sorry. Let's wrap.
I would ask y'all, give us y'all thoughts on Rust, but I already know y'all haven't seen it. So listen to this review and watch us complain about Rust, so y'all don't have to waste 2 hours and 19 of your life watching this movie. But shout out to Alec Baldwin. He tried. Shout out to Travis Fimmel for like attempting to give a good performance amongst all of this, and to the rest of this cast, try again next time.
Damn, even a kid.
But especially
I
the
hated
kid.
that nigga.
Um,
Hated
yeah,
that
no,
nigga.
him especially. Actually, like him, definitely. Like, yeah, yeah. Try again next time. But this has been our review of Russ. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate all the support. Until next time, it's the Real Junkies. Peace.